What do the top 5 best-selling indoor HD antennas on Amazon have in common with this? More than you might think. Now, before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified every Wednesday and Friday when we're back here with another video much like this one. But for today, we're talking about the top 5, I can come back to this later, the top 5 best-selling HD antennas on Amazon in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to be going into those because, frankly, we've been talking a lot about streaming services lately, and these fit in very nicely. If you're looking to cut the cord, an HD antenna is something that you really want in your arsenal, unless you plan on paying a bunch of money for live TV. Now, as far as how I rated all of these, essentially I just plugged them into the same TV in the same location by the same window at the same time of day and gave them all the best shot at an apples to apples comparison. I really tried to give them all the best position in the window and all of that sort of thing. So we are trying to do as close a comparison as possible. Now, one caveat before we get started is that your mileage may vary. The results that we got are the results that we got. About 10 miles from the nearest broadcast tower, we're close to a downtown location. So we got pretty good results, I think, based on our situation. But yours may not be as good. It may be quite a bit better. Hard to say. Anyway, with that in mind, let's dive into each individual antenna and look at how it did. All right, so first things first, over here we have the You Must Have Digital HD TV antenna. But this is kind of a trick because this is the exact same antenna. They nabbed both the #1 and the #2 spot on Amazon's list. So well done, whoever owns You Must Have great SEO practices. So they got them both on there. They work exactly the same. The only difference is this one is black on this side and white on this side. This one's white on both sides. That was the only difference. Except, I should mention, when we open the box, turns out some pretty flimsy construction on the on this USB plug right here. So yeah, this one broke. This came with the black unit, but the white one worked just fine. Once we got them both plugged in, they worked exactly the same. So at a price of $27.95, we got 51 channels in really pretty great picture quality. It worked really well. So I was impressed with these ones. The only thing I would say is flimsy construction. Watch out for that. All right, moving on to the #3 slot. This is just listed as Digital HD TV Antenna. You can also search Model V8, but you can also find it by the picture because it is the most different looking of all these. This is a tabletop unit. It doesn't go in your window. It goes kind of on your windowsill, you can see. It's a pretty cheap plastic construction, but I do like the matte black finish. It's nice looking at least. And the other thing that's different about this is that you have a built-in amplifier. You can switch it between short range and long range depending on how close you are to the broadcast antenna. And a note on that is that you might be tempted to just switch it to long range no matter where you are because you figure I'm going to get more signal that way. But if you're really close to the broadcast antenna, you could actually distort your signal by turning on your amplifier. So play with this a little bit to make sure that you get it just right, and it works pretty well for you. Now, that little built-in amplifier is going to cost you a little bit extra. This retails for $39.99 on Amazon. So you are going to pay a little bit more, but you get a nice unit that doesn't go up in your window. So if that fits your aesthetic a little bit better, that's great. As far as what you get for that $40, it's a little more expensive than what you're paying over here. And you're getting 44 channels is what we got for one mode, 50 on another. So like I said, play around with the amplifier, play around with the position in the windowsill, and you should find a decent number of channels, but a little bit less than what you're getting with the #1 and 2 option here. All right, moving on to #4, we've got the 1x1 amplified indoor HD TV antenna. So that's a mouthful. This one is probably the most disappointing so far out of these. There's nothing special about it aesthetically. It's black on both sides. Put it up in your window just like anything else. It plugs in just like anything else. It does have an amplifier built in, just like this one does, but there is no switch to switch between short and long range. That amplifier is just working all of the time. So that may cause problems for some of you. For others, it will be a blessing. But as far as what we got for this, we paid $23 for this antenna and we got 42 channels. This is the lowest channel count that we've got so far, so you're paying a little bit less than you were on these units, but you're also getting less. So if you're worried about channel count, this probably isn't the unit for you. Okay, moving on to number 5 on the list, but maybe number 1 in my heart. This is the Vansky digital HDTV antenna. This one has the same price tag as what you're getting over here on the 1x1, but you are getting a little bit more for that price. Now, again, there's nothing different about this aesthetically. It looks the same as, well, most of the other ones. So there's nothing different there, but you do get a longer coax cable, about 20 feet if my estimate was correct. 20-foot coax cable may be great for your living room, or it might be too much, more than you want to deal with. So you can decide there. But what you get for this $23 price tag is 57 channels. If you're keeping track, that's more than all the other 4. It's much, much more than what you're paying the $23 for here in the 1x1 version. So the Vansky had the best performance as far as channel count. It also had the best performance in picture quality. The 1x1 was really lagging there. A lot of the channels were glitching quite a bit. This one, very little fuss, put it up in the window, got great picture quality with whatever channel we were looking at. So that's it for our top 5 Amazon antennas. But now the question is, how do they stack up against a little DIY little doohickey like this? So that's what I want to talk about, because it was shocking to me. Here's what I did. I gave myself 60 seconds and I grabbed anything metal I could find within arm's reach. I got a spoon, an Allen wrench, a headphone jack, and a paper clip, taped them all together and hung them in the coax jack on the back of the TV, and I got 39 channels just with this thing. So the question is it worth it to buy these? Well, you know, they are probably going to be a little more reliable. You don't have to give up a spoon out of your kitchen, I guess. Is that worth 20 bucks to you? Now, 39 channels also isn't quite as many as even the lowest on here. The 1x1 got, what was that, 42. So you are going to get a little bit better performance from an actual antenna. But if you want a little hack just to get a few channels for free, you can do something like this. And just to make sure that this was actually doing something, I took it out and scanned for channels with absolutely nothing attached to the coax jack in the back of the TV. And sure enough, I got 0 channels that way. So it really did work. How about that? Now we've got one more surprise in store for you, but that's going to wait for the next video. We're going to be taking a look at this guy right here. This is the Ultra Pro Signal Finder HD from GE. This was sent to us to test, and so we did. We put it to the test just like all the other ones. The question is whether this flashy, full of doohickeys HD TV antenna is worth twice the price as what you would pay for the number 1 and number 2 antennas. This one is $60. So we're going to test it out and find out whether you get something for 60 bucks or if you get the little GE logo for 60 bucks. That's the question, and we're going to tackle that next week. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, and like this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you comment below on your experience or your favorite hack for how to get around using an antenna at all, if you'd like. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video.